Good evening and welcome to the weekly edition of Nightly News. I'm Nolan. Tonight we welcome Ayn to our Nightly News team of anchors.
Thanks, Nolan. I'm glad to be here. You know, this week has been very busy for everyone, but especially those in engineering.
Coming up on this week's edition of the news, we will have video of the machines running, interviews with engineering, and footage from programming.
Stay tuned for more information from the Robotics Roundtable. Engineering has been very busy finishing up CAD drawings for the design of the remaining components of the robot. While Brad and Charles have been busy with drawings of the bumpers, Coach Scott has been drawing up the final details of the shooter.
That's right, Ayn. And it's my understanding that Brad has finished the locations of the controls and the pneumatics on the robot. And he's very close to finishing the robot drawings, all of which should be completed by Monday.
Sounds like a plan. The programming team is putting the finishing touches on our new ultrasonic crash prevention system, which, when fully operational, will disable the joysticks if an obstacle is in the robot's path. This will be used only for practicing purposes.
Apparently, Ayn, there's a good story in the team's history book as to why that's needed.
Yeah, something about speed and bent chassis. Probably shouldn't do that.
No. The programming team has also been improving the auto-shifting system for the robot speeds. Apparently, it's a complex system which requires a fair amount of attention.
That's right, Nolan, and yet the programming team has still had time to help Coach Stacy and me to develop a Team 367 scouting app that will assist us at competitions and eliminate the tedious process of poring over paper scouting records. I don't know what we do without this, guys, and the expert help from Coach Rob. The build team has been hard at work with what is essentially the team's third take on the competition chassis. As the design team has worked out bugs of design in SolidWorks, the dimensions of the chassis have gone through a couple of renderings. It's a relief to have finally settled on the size and have both chassis on their way toward completion.
Sure is, Ayn. It is also a relief that Coach Mark and Austin have the robot's pickup mechanism nearly finished, and more important, that the launcher construction is about to start. Just recently, Coach Scott walked in with materials for that project.
That's very good to hear. So what's marketing been up to?
Marketing has been working hard too. We have the website's Who We Are page updated for the past year and the current one. We have also been on a blogging roll. I think we actually blogged 3 times this week. That's the most since Kettering kickoff in September. Marketing is our smallest team and the team on which we could use some more help. Students interested in marketing, web and graphic design should contact us via the team's website.
And next up, we go to Aishah with her interview with Carissa and Brianna.
Thanks, Ayn, and I am here now with Brianna and Carissa, who are both on Build this season. So Brianna, you have been on Build for 2 years now. Going on 2 years. Carissa, this is your first year on Build. How has that transition from marketing to Build been, or has been?
For me, it was fantastic because I don't like to sit still for long, and in the shop there's always something new you can be doing, something new to learn, and it's just all around hands-on, and that's the way I learn best. So,
Good. Carissa?
For a few years I was watching the robot go around on the field, and this year I finally got to see how the robot was built and how it all came together, and I definitely like it a lot better because I'm the same way. I don't like staying still. I like knowing what's going on at all times.
So neither of you like to be idle. Okay, so Brianna, you are a junior. College is right around the corner. Have you looked at any scholarship opportunities provided by First yet?
of course, there's a multitude of them, but a lot of them aren't available to me until next year. So I've definitely been going through, reading up on them, reading the qualifications, and kind of picking which ones I want to apply for.
Okay. Carissa, your dad is in the shop a lot. How does it feel working with your parent and being constantly surrounded by them, even more so than you would at home?
It's a little nerve-wracking at times, because if you do one slightest mistake or anything really, you know you'll hear about it later, or you'll end up talking about it somehow. But on the other side, it's kind of nice, because sometimes you get that little question that you're afraid to ask other people, and you can always go to them about it.
Okay. So a question for both of you. How has your time on the team influenced your possible career choices down the line?
Well, starting from when I was around 3 years old, I have always had this fascination with like the brain, and for a very long time I wanted to go into being a neurosurgeon, which is obviously quite the task. But since I've gotten into the building and the technical things of the robot, I've definitely changed my mind and want to go into mechanical engineering.
Carissa?
Since I was young, also, I wanted to be a doctor, and I like dealing with that kind of stuff. But since I came here, I've definitely changed my mindset on it, and I've went in more with mechanical and working with that kind of stuff.
So it must be a great fit for both of you, mechanical, because even after almost 2 years and less than a year on the team, you guys have already changed your possible lives being here. Must be a good fit. Okay, so last question for both of you. Okay, so both of you guys are the only 2 women on the build team this season. Why do you think more women should be going into careers and getting more experience with science and technology and engineering and math and all that fun STEM stuff?
Well, the STEM careers have definitely shown tremendous growth in the last few years, and I'm sure they will continue to grow that way. So I think it's good for women to get into that because the careers will probably be there for the rest of everything. So I think it's great. But also, women offer different aspects and ways to look at things than men do. Like, if a man and a woman look at the same problem, they might come up with different solutions. So it's an advantage to everybody.
Carissa?
I agree. Sometimes they do look at the same problems and come up with completely different ways, but also sometimes women have advantages on certain tasks and situations that men can't do. So it's like a problem solver for both ends.
Okay, and collaboration is always important in any sort of science. Well, thank you guys so much for sitting down with me today. I'm sorry I took time out of your building, but we can't wait to see what you guys come up with because you guys are doing a really excellent job. Back to you, Nolan and Ayn.
Well, that's it for today. Tune in next week for news on week 5.
I bid thee farewell, good ladies and good men. Until next week,
Be nightly.
Okay, team.
Of First and First in Michigan. Brought to you by Team 3667.